Theater of the Mind is a dark horror comedy podcast. It is not suitable for all ages, and viewer discretion is advised. Content warnings can be found in the podcast description.
Welcome to Theater of the Mind, episode 24. Our question this episode is from the Ultimate RPG Campfire card deck by James D'Amato, and it is, what is a line your companions must never cross in order to maintain a relationship with you? Who is most likely to test this boundary?
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I am playing Mel Kelly. For Mel, I think the line that her companions should not cross with her is to not follow through on something they've promised. She's seen a lot of that, and in an apocalyptic situation, I don't think she would put up with that from her companions. Nothing personal. I honestly think that James might be the one that would be most likely to cross that line.
I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Elliot Brandybane. And Elliot, he builds much like Mel, on trust. So I think the line that you can't cross with Elliot is you can't lie to Elliot about something important. It's okay to little white lie here and there, and maybe you're embarrassed by it, but if it's something important and you lie to Elliot, that would be very, very difficult for him to trust you after that. And honestly, after his talk with James, he told James that they were a clean slate, and he sticks with that. So honestly, at the moment, the closest one that he would be most worried about would be Ulnok.
Which I think is fair given the situation. Hi, I am Brunel. I am playing Ulnok Vaga Johnson. And Ulnok used to be pretty hardcore on the don't lie to me ever train, but he's had to loosen up on that because, people are people, and that's absurd. So, but in the vein of that same kind of idea, any betrayal that feels personal or puts anybody else at risk or in danger would be the line that can't be crossed. And, sorry, James, but it's you, buddy. I don't know why. No, I do. You stole things, You lied about taking Elliot's shirt. You have kind of a track record here. And I know you said you'd never betray us and stab us in the back or whatever, but I'm not 100% inclined to believe you. So I am watching you. With now werewolf-like style senses.
Play a rogue, suffer the consequences.
This is all James. This has nothing to do with you.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I'm playing my character too.
No, it has
too
100% to do with you too, Jones. I don't trust you.
Wow.
Yeah,
I heard Jones too, don't.
So I guess running along with the can't trust anybody massive trust issue train, I'm going to go with that as well. If biggest line that you can't cross would be the backstabbing, because too many times in James's past he's been burned literally and figuratively for people that he thought that he could trust, and if that happens again, then he's just going to walk away. Just nope, I'm done.
Who are you most worried about doing that?
All of you at this point. I mean, so far 3 people have mentioned me by name.
You don't know.
You didn't know this, though.
Fair.
You're reading minds now. Your character, as far as I'm aware,
your
can't do
character has not been part of this conversation,
let me just
buddy.
roll 3d20s for insight checks. Really though, probably Mel.
That's fair.
I think.
I'm honestly surprised that hasn't come up yet.
Yeah,
Gotta be honest.
I mean, your patron was kind of like the big bad Oogie Boogie, apparently. Oh, sorry, Ooby Boogie.
In my defense, I didn't read the terms and conditions, so I didn't know when I agreed to it.
In my defense, I didn't mean to stab
Betrayal
you guys in the back.
through
Ignorance.
not exactly.
Never contribute to malice what you can contribute to ignorance.
Exactly. I am as stupid as I look.
Mel, you shouldn't talk down to yourself like that.
Damn, you gotta bring yourself up. Don't sell yourself short.
That was mean. I'll have you know my character was average height when I built her. It's all you that have decided she's tiny.
It's to be fair, in most of the characters you have played, like the longest running character you played with us was very short, considering
He didn't start short.
Yeah, that's funny.
He
had
didn't
to
even
die to
start
get that
out
way.
as a she.
I'm Casey Weingarten. I'm playing Emery Lee. Emery is an extremely independent person. So I think the line that if someone crossed that, she wouldn't be able to really look at them the same would be if they questioned the way that she lives her life. Like, there's like curiosity, and then there's like truly just like not agreeing and not understanding with how she's decided to lead her life through the world. And I think that probably the person who is closest to that line is Elliot, not out of intent, but more out of just they're on very different wavelengths. And he is a couple generations older than she is, and that causes a little bit of conflict. But it's not like forefront in her mind in any interaction.
Awesome. There we go. That was one of the more diverse answers we've had in a while.
Yeah, it wasn't full on trust issues.
Yeah. It wasn't just, I'm going to be single forever.
Also, I think I got so flustered I didn't introduce myself.
Oh, yeah. You're Jones.
Yeah.
I said down. I did. I just said it fast and weird.
I'm Downs, by the way. Hi.
I'm Downs. Nobody trusts me because I'm a rogue.
And on that note, let's roll for recap. We'll go highest tells.
11.
7.
20.
6.
12.
20.
I'm pretty sure it's Jeremy. It's Jeremy. It's your turn, buddy.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
I haven't introduced it in a long time. Let's see. Last session, it's been a little while. We fought our way through the cathedral. We didn't wipe out the cathedral, just the ones that were combatants.
Beat the crap out of a window.
We broke windows. We ran up and down stairs, which Elliot was not a good plan.
You fell out a window.
And we succeeded in taking down the two most powerful cultist leaders in here, which also were the people we needed to cure Ulnok. And then we didn't exactly take one of the nuns prisoner, but I can't remember her name at the moment.
I don't think she ever got introduced. Oh, she was Theresa.
Theresa,
Theresa.
yes. Sister Theresa
Theresa.
has decided that she is dedicated to bringing Jacob to Lord Ashraphael. And so her threat of killing him sort of ceased to exist at that point when we realized that, well, she's not going to kill Jacob at this point. We don't care. And so we are preparing to survive the night while Ulnok changes his first time into a werewolf. And I believe we have him locked in the cathedral's prison jail cell as well as we were able to. And then we have locked ourselves in our room for the night.
Yep. And then this was kind of at the very end. Theresa left and was replaced by a different sister.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Right at the very end there. So there's a different nun who has not yet introduced herself to you. And just to help lay the land in everybody's mind because it's going to probably maybe kind of matter. You guys are back on the nun half of the living quarters. As we remember, this place was a big square donut. The nuns were on one half, the monks were on the other. And the cathedral jail cell was underneath on the monk's half. So there is pert near everybody between you guys and Ulnok.
Yeah, this way Ulnok, if he breaks out, he'll run a monk over there.
God damn it.
Terrible.
And as I recall, the very last thing that happened was Ulnok rolled a 16 Constitution save. So that's where we're going to pick up. Ulnok, you are in a decrepit jail cell in a very cliche dungeon-y looking basement. Cobblestone walls, the whole shebang. And you are in the most well-maintained jail cell.
Okay.
Which is to say that it still has all of the bars. And they are all still going from ceiling to floor.
Okay.
But they are not necessarily in great shape. This you get the feeling that they've not used this jail in many a moon.
Okay.
So it's not pristine conditions by any means. And as I recall, you guys also barricaded the door that leads into this jail cell. So there is a couple layers of keep Ulnok in the basement in place.
I think there was like a couple of sofas. There's a kitchen sink. We shoved everything in front of that door.
And Elliot's got the keys to the jail.
Yes, Elliot's got the keys on the opposite side of the everything. So, the very last thing that was seen was a very cliche Halloween moon coming over. And unbeknownst to Ulnok, as soon as it crests the mountain, you start to hurt.
Okay.
Every bone in your body aches.
Okay.
Terribly. You feel every muscle in your body tensing and flexing. And now they're cramping. Your teeth, if you've ever worn braces, feel almost exactly like the day after you get your braces tightened. Your teeth are trying to be ripped through your gums currently. And they're ripping through your gums. And you start to spit your teeth out.
I've had this dream before. No, wow, that sounds awful. Okay.
You feel your back starting to hunch against your will. Your abs are convulsing horribly. And you feel your bones starting to crack and pop and move and change shape. And right about the time this happens, you black the hell out from the pain.
Okay.
This is the worst thing you have ever felt by a mile.
Yeah.
And you black out. You stand before a panel of high-ranking naval officers. The panel consists of 4 officers, all of whom are clearly higher rank and they're actual commissioned officers. And you know, just from having been on the boat long enough, you've got an officer who oversees the aircraft technicians. You've got an officer who oversees pilots. And you've got the ship's highest ranking guy, Admiral, whatever he be on this. CO. You have that guy on the panel. And then there's a 4th one that you haven't interacted with much. You've seen him. You're vaguely aware of him, but you don't interact with this man very often. The aircraft technician officer, whatever rank he would be, the one who oversees the aircraft techs. He doesn't typically cover your shift. You don't report directly to him. You report to his co-equal. Addresses you and says, AT-1 Johnson, at 1300 hours, AC-717 was shot down during a joint training exercise. Data recovered post-incident shows that the IFF malfunctioned. The purpose of this panel is to identify where system failure occurred, assess our current workflow for comms breakdowns, and find the party at fault. This hearing is being recorded and will be logged for evidence. Do you understand why you have been brought before us today?
Yes, sir.
Our logs show that you are the one who programmed the codes for this flight. Is that accurate?
That is correct, sir.
From whom did you receive those codes?
Sir, I had received those codes earlier in the day, roughly about 0700, for the beginning of flight operations from the IT tech on the underground under of the ship. To my knowledge, those codes at the time were all accurate and usable for the day.
Did you in any way manipulate, alter, or adjust the codes you received?
No, sir, I did not.
Do you have the foreknowledge to know how to alter, manipulate, or adjust the codes in any way?
No, sir, I do not.
You installed the codes as prescribed.
I installed the codes as regular procedures, yes. Sir.
Ulnok, you are in a cell. Back in the cell.
Okay.
You come back to, you look at your hands. They are covered with fur. Your fingers are narrow, long, disjointed, ending with wicked black claws. You see that your feet have pretty well torn through your shoes. You have where your arch of your foot would be is now a new ankle effectively, and from the ball of your foot to your heel has grown about 6 inches longer than normal. You feel incredibly powerful. I need you to roll a d20.
That's a 4.
Need a dice, Jill.
I might.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here you go. Put the bad die in there.
You've betrayed me. All right.
You, outside of your own control, stand up and throw your shoulder into the metal bars trying to contain you.
Okay.
They don't give, but you can tell that they're not going to last long. I need you to roll another d20.
A different D20.
Ah. Shit, where'd it go, you guys? I'll just roll a different one. That's a 5.
Oh my god.
That is considered an improvement.
Dude, you consistently roll lower than anyone I've ever met.
You actually, I apologize, you have advantage on this particular one.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, cool. Now you get a 6.
Maybe a 7 even. All right, let's see how this goes. 17.
Yes.
It's better. I don't know if it works, but it's better.
As you throw yourself against these iron bars, you take in a deep breath.
Okay.
And you smell more than you have ever smelt before. Almost able to see scent lines leading from your jail cell.
Okay.
You smell above and beyond anything else, relatively nearby, the acrid stink of fear. Something deep inside of you gets very excited by that.
Okay.
I need you to make a Constitution save.
Roll high for the love of you.
16.
As soon as that scent hits, you feel the change pick back up again. Your bones continue shifting. You start sprouting fur everywhere. Your nose starts to actually extend forward as your jaw reconfigures its shape. And again, the pain is unbearable and you black out. I need you to tell us about the morning of the incident. How did that day go leading up to what actually occurred?
Just for clarification, is this the officer talking again?
Yes. No, this is you walking.
Just me
us
walking
through it.
through it. Okay.
Yeah, we are living this through your eyes.
Got it. So the day usually starts off. We've had our maintenance meeting and everything else. AC 717 is one of the helicopters on the boat that we are going to be flying for the day. There's only 2 of them on the boat. We're not on an aircraft carrier. We're on a smaller boat, like a destroyer, we'll go with a destroyer. So if anybody wants to look that up to know what that is, that's what kind of boat we're on.
It's the one with all the guns.
Yeah.
All of them.
It's got a
Every
lot
gun.
of guns, a big cannon on the front, the Dooga sticks. Yeah.
The super scary ultra machine gun.
Yeah. Oh, what is that called? The Sea Whiz. Yeah.
Sounds like it's just farting fire.
It just sounds like it's vibrating really fast. Yeah. And it unloads 1,000 rounds, and anything that it gets hit, it's gone. But yeah, it's a destroyer. Maintenance meeting has happened in the aft of the ship in the squadron's location. Everything's went according to plan. We just went over flight ops and what we're going to be doing today. We're supposed to be doing a joint exercise later in the afternoon with some forces. I don't remember, right? That wasn't particularly important at the time. We are in hostile area. We are outside the waters of China. If violations occur, things can go horrifically awry.
So it's probably Taiwanese or Australian, maybe.
Yeah, let's go with that. But something that's usually pretty routine in what we're supposed to do. Nothing out of the ordinary has happened at this point. So before we get to flight ops and everything, it's about 7 o'clock, as previously stated. I'm on the, I can't remember the term for when you're under deck.
Below?
Yeah, I think it might actually be under deck. Because there's the main deck and then we're underneath on the ship. There's only like 2 or 3 floors. Like I said, it's not an aircraft carrier. We're not really tall. So we're a couple floors under deck. I'm talking with the IT guys. They run all the secret codes and everything. They help program everything. They are the ones who ensure that the codes are ready for the day. To my knowledge, when I get the codes, all the codes are ready for the day. They're all accurate. Everything's good. According to IT1, the gentleman I was talking with, those are the codes that are supposed to be. Go back up, program them in. There's a long, giant coax cable. Sorry. So there's a long coax cable that we run from the edge of the wall. It would be called a bulkhead in Navy terms. That runs that signal so it can talk with downstairs IT. We run it to the aircraft and we program those through this little box that's probably 6 inches long and 2 inches wide. It's only got a handful of buttons as far as my memory serves. It's only got 4 buttons. The codes are relatively simple. As long as I put the codes in as I was supposed to put the codes in, everything should be fine for the entirety of the day. They cycle every so often. And that's automatic as the aircraft is flying, if I recall correctly. So everything goes fine. First aircraft goes off, 8 o'clock. It goes and does what it normally does. They basically just go fly around and, patrol an area. It's mostly for training and exercises. It's not typically to actually patrol anything, but since we are in potentially hostile waters, we're in hazardous waters. They do keep a higher alert just in case something does seem to alarm them or whatever. Still communication with the boat until they're pretty far away. And everything goes smooth for the 8 o'clock flight and the 10 o'clock flight. Come back from lunch, because our lunch is usually around 11. Come back from lunch.
When you come back from lunch, before you find out anything has gone awry, you get back into the mechanics bay?
Yeah.
That's where you would have gone to?
Yeah.
Whatever you guys would call the mechanics bay.
It'd be the same place that we had the maintenance meeting. It's just so you have what would typically be viewed as not a Harrier, that's a jet. Where they keep the aircraft. Hangar.
Hangar, yeah.
So it's like a small hangar. The helicopter folds everything in, and while it's inside, it's very cramped. There's not a lot to do, right? But when it's out on flight ops, that whole area is open. To the right, typically, as you're coming to the aft of the ship, would be like a little room.
Mhm.
It's not very big, but everybody can fit in it and we can have a meeting. We do meet up usually after lunch and have another quick briefing before we resume flight ops.
So your officer in charge, whoever you would be reporting directly to,
Probably a lieutenant commander at this point.
the lieutenant commander wants to maximize the space temporarily.
Okay.
There's been some inefficiencies with how you guys have had your shop set up.
Okay.
And now that you got the birds out of the way, you can move equipment freely.
Okay.
More freely.
Yeah.
Um,
Which tracks? That's accurate.
so he's going to have you assist in relocating some of the heavier items. You're a big boy.
Mhm.
So just to see how well you're able to assist, let's go ahead and have you make 2 strength checks.
Okay.
Actually, just roll the D20 twice.
First one's not very successful. It's a 7.
Okay.
Second one's very successful. It's a 19.
Okay. So you are, you're caught off guard by the weight of the thing to begin with, but you're able to double down and you're able to relocate it. You're able to clean up the shop effectively. And right around the end of cleaning up the shop, you said you heard the incident?
Yeah.
So you were outside.
I was on comms.
You're on comms.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically how we record the podcast. I'd be sitting next to there's like a phone. We talk. Plane captains are outside guiding the aircraft. All the officers and the AWs are getting in there for actual flight ops and operations.
So they're getting to the nitty gritty part where, they're not just en route anymore. They've arrived. So you get over to the comms bay and you pick back up from there.
Okay. So while I'm on comms listening to the aircraft, they still have to be pretty close, but the fact of the matter is I can still hear them. We hear that they are being pinged by foreign, what would be the term? Not necessarily adversaries. We're near another airbase, right? Like we're
Right.
not far off the shore. So we've come into their occupied airspace.
Right.
They get pinged. They're aware of this training exercise, so our codes should be good. But they're getting pinged by that aircraft, and it's sending off an alert. And so we're kind of near Hong Kong-ish waters. So we're getting pinged by one of the coastal air bases on the border of China. Again, they knew about the training exercise, so they're aware that this is going down, but that's why we have IFF. It's identification friend or foe. So they're pinging the aircraft. There is a bit of even though they speak English, it's not great English. So there's a little bit of a communications barrier, but I can hear our officer who's flying the plane. Let's go, Lieutenant Snyder. He's speaking with the airbase. And he said, AC 717, we're running a joint training exercise. What seems to be the issue? They're talking back and forth.
Roll me a D20 with advantage.
Okay. Is there any modifier? What are we rolling?
Yes. What did you roll?
12.
Okay.
Was my
That was
better
with
roll.
advantage? Okay. Perfect. That's with a +4.
Okay.
That is a perception. You're able to pick up on what's going on pretty quickly.
Mhm.
You're dialed into what's happening.
Okay.
Weirdly, you smell this room pretty thoroughly. You smell the sweat of your teammates as they're starting to get nervous. You smell the grease. You smell the oil.
Okay. It's like
You can
heightened
almost
senses.
taste
Yeah.
it. Whether it's the adrenaline dumping into your system or what, you're not sure.
Right.
But you can tell the way this conversation's going is already in a negative direction pretty quickly.
The alert is still going off. The ping is happening more frequently. There's a little bit more panic in Lieutenant Snyder's voice as he's the one who is directly in communications with that airbase. And I can hear over comms what they're saying. It's escalating pretty quickly. They're clearly not getting a proper identification. Being that it's far away from the airbase. You can't just take somebody's word for it. The code has to pass, right? And that's why we're getting the alert. So it's cycling through codes because the first code didn't work. So we're trying another code. Unfortunately, that's not working either. This is typically a 3 strikes and you're out rule, and they're shooting you down. So there's a reason Lieutenant Snyder is freaking out a bit. If this third code does not go, they're going to get blasted. And everybody's coming down. And we might be able to save them as far as keeping them alive if they don't die from the direct impact.
While this is occurring, go ahead and give me a wisdom save. With your stats.
16.
Okay. You're piecing together what's happening very quickly. You're going, and because you understand what's going on, you're also thinking back through your portion of the codes.
Right.
You are incredibly confident you put those codes in the way they should have.
Right.
Go ahead and continue.
So, third code is sent. It is not verbally communicated that it is sent, but the ping happens again, and I hear the third alert. Unfortunately, I know exactly which alert I'm getting. And my stomach drops, right?
With that, your stomach drops.
Yeah.
You come back to.
Okay.
You are now in a hallway. And we are going to switch back to the party. Party members.
Uh-oh. We don't know what's going on.
Uh-oh.
SpaghettiOs.
So
You guys are in a room. You're in, we'll just say for the ease of me not having to explain the same room again, you're in the same room you were in. They just brought you back to that room. So to refresh our memories, you've got a long rectangular main room. On parallel sides, there are 2 rooms for the sleeping quarters. There's also a small washroom, wash basin, and a toilet. You have the door on one end, and directly across from the door is a window that oversees the cathedral.
Remind me, does the window open?
Kind of. It's one of those, we called it a awning window or whatever.
Yeah, because it opens from the bottom just
Yeah.
a little bit.
So it's one of those that kind of like angles out, but it's got 2 metal arms that prevent it from opening very far.
Yeah.
And even if you could open it all the way, it's not a particularly big window.
Yeah.
I think the description was Jacob could maybe squeeze through, and that was about it.
I was wondering if maybe we had the window open so we could hear outside better.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely fine. You guys are all still awake. You have the new nun, who for all intents and purposes looks damn near identical to Theresa. There's not enough
She's
of her.
Forza.
Forza. Yeah. This is.
I was going to go with twice.
This is Florence. Sister Florence.
Sister Florence, you mean?
See, I kept thinking like 1, 2, 5, Theresa. Monty Python.
Oh. Did not follow that one. For all intents and purposes, she looks very much the same. She's a little bit darker complexion. She's got a little bit more of a longer, more angular nose. But that's all you have to see. The rest of it is a robe that looks identical to what Theresa was wearing. So Florence is sitting there with the boy. She hasn't shown...
Oh, Jacob's with Elliot.
And
We
she's
got-
wherever Jacob is.
Okay.
She's under the same rules that Theresa was. She's not letting him not be.
Yeah, but she's not like
By herself.
immediately next to him with
Fair.
like none of us nearby.
Right. No, absolutely. She doesn't have anywhere near the apprehension that Theresa showed for most of it. You're almost getting the vibe that maybe they didn't do the greatest job briefing this lady. She's got more of like, I'm a grade school teacher watching a child in a weird parent-teacher situation. She's not letting the kid leave. She understands that part of her mission, but she's not as borderline aggressive with you guys as 3 siblings. That's been your interaction with her so far. Can I have a round of perception checks?
Seven.
Passive.
Oh, 12. Passive 12.
17 with my -1.
2, passive 10.
16.
All right.
Some of us are hyped.
2 of you.
Emery's too anxious to be like perceiving anything.
2 of you. 3 of you. Elliot barely, literally a 12 was the DC on this. Elliot barely makes it. The 3 of you hear the wolf howl. The 2 of you that rolled better than 12 think that you hear a muffled bang.
I feel like as soon as like when I hear the howl, like Mel like perks up. If she had ears, they'd have perked up. Like shit.
Guys, I could be wrong, and I really, really, really hope I'm wrong, but I think the dog just broke out the kennel.
That's like oh.
Because I'm pretty sure I heard a loud bang.
What are you guys doing?
Double checking the door.
Taking many terrified free actions.
Do we? I have no idea what to do about. Like, do we go? Because we don't want him to go killing everybody.
Well,
We're trying
the whole
to keep him from that temptation.
But the whole point of us being barricaded in here is to keep as much from like we need to stay put.
Why was that exactly?
I'm sure everybody else they've barricaded themselves in their room. There are many things, but they are not stupid.
Ulnok didn't want us at risk either.
And we also told Ulnok that we would protect Jacob.
Fair.
I can say for what it's worth, word has gotten around that there may be danger tonight. We ended all activities early. Everybody is in their own room.
You mistake me. I don't really care about their well-being. I care about his if he kills them all.
Well, I'm just saying it'll be hard for him to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was able to break out that cell, which we thoroughly barricaded. I don't think that one of these doors, which I broke earlier, is really going to do a lot.
You broke with Ulnok's help.
He's still got to get out of the room that the cell was in.
Fair. And that's my point exactly. If normal Ulnok was able to bust through a door, Harry Ulnok is absolutely going to break through a door.
Oh. I just want to say, out of character, Mel's lack of interesting vocabulary makes this really hard because if it were me, I'd be swearing in every language I know. But Mel only knows one.
That's alles ist scheiße.
Elliot, while this is going on, he actually is going to go to the spot on the wall that we had seen the eyes the first night that we had seen. And he's going to inspect to see if they're being watched again. I don't imagine that we are. And then at that point, he wants to try to figure out if we can get into the other side as a possible escape route if need be.
Who's clever?
You do see a set of eyes. Very obviously trying to make eye contact with you.
So Elliot's going to walk up and look and said, you know what? It's pretty messed up that you're peeping on nuns' quarters. What is...
They immediately back away as soon as you bring attention to them, and they close the false. They replace the paintings.
You coward.
Oh, I should have hit him with color spray. That would have been hilarious.
Anyway, I'm gonna go to investigating as hard as Elliot is able to, trying to see if he could figure out some way to get either through the wall or if there's some kind of a trap door or something. He's looking for an escape route if they need one, and that's what he's going to spend his time. Whether it's possible or not, I don't know, but that's what he's going to be trying to do.
Roll an investigation.
That's not terrible. 14.
You think you hear something? Something is intentionally being quiet on the other side?
So he's going to whisper, "Who are you? Why do you keep watching? What do you want?" I want to
Go ahead and roll me another perception check.
The painting sprung a leak.
11.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I basically
Can
wanted
I
to do
help
an insight
him?
check. Is like, why is this guy? I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of the person on the other side is. But that's a lot from a shh and
Yeah.
eyes.
Nah.
There was an inflection in the shush.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, I can't let you incite a shush.
So
The shush is honest.
Can-
it is
can-
genuinely asking you to be quiet.
can I, seeing that Elliot's chewing out the wall, can I go up there and like go up to the painting real close and be like, "Are you here to help us,
Are you?
or here to help them?"
Here's something important. Do you care if anyone else in the room sees that you're doing this?
don't-
I'm kind of trying to keep Florence from seeing this because
Okay.
I don't trust her, but I don't really care if the rest of the party does.
I need you to roll like sleight of hand or stealth to see if you're able to not bring the nun's attention to this painting.
21.
Okay. You are able to not bring the nun's attention to this painting. You come up and you make it look almost as though you are talking to Elliot in
Mhm.
hushed undertones. And what do you say?
That like, are you trying to help us or help them?
Trying to help you.
Is there an escape route from here?
Distract her.
And Elliot's gonna turn around and go over and engage Sister Florence in some meaningless prattle.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll me a lowish DC persuasion.
Tell me about your religion. I'm curious.
Oh, nice. 14.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to draw her attention. What conversation do you strike up, just for curiosity's sake?
It's gonna be. So, how long have you been here? And do you like Sister Theresa? Are you going to be here till morning? It's just meaningless, polite chatter.
Just to button that up, what you learned from her is she also has spent almost her entire life in this church since she was but a wee child. And she is primarily their school teacher because they do pick up kids. She is their teacher. She's not the biggest fan of Theresa. She absolutely had a level of fear-imposed respect for the high matron and isn't necessarily the saddest to see her reign end, but there is a high degree of uncertainty as to who the new high matron will be. So you learn that part of Theresa's issue, so to speak, is that she is currently jockeying to try to be the new high matron. But overall, as far as any conversations with people in this place are, she's one of the more pleasant you've interacted with. Very open, very honest with her communication. You don't get any caginess. And you remember back to the breakfast you had with everybody, she is one of the nuns that was particularly kind of...
Friendly?
Yeah, with the boy in particular, one of the ones who was kind of sneaking him extra helpings. For what it's worth, she was one of the nicer ones. While he's doing that, Mel, you see just the slightest flutter of the eyes,
Mhm.
and there is now a piece of parchment that can be seen, just the corner of it. As if, you got the painting
Mhm.
with the holes. There's a little cover behind it where the painting's eyes are.
Yeah.
That just gently pulls back, goes back forward, and you can see a piece of paper
I'll try
pressed
to
up into it.
grab the piece of paper.
You're able to roll with advantage, sleight of hand or stealth.
Uh, 20. Dirty.
Perfect. You're able to pull it out. Nobody notices you pull it out. It's very obviously it's a small piece of parchment with something written on it.
Okay. I will, when I get it out, I don't know how good of an actress Mel is, but rather theatrically, like, sit on the floor, like, in this, this is just so frustrating, thinking that she's being convincing, so that I can be, like, kind of out of sight when I go to try to unroll it.
Okay. Just because you're intentionally acting, let's get a performance check.
Actually, no. 14.
Okay.
You're a charisma caster. Your charisma's pretty good.
Yeah.
The nun looks over at you, but she's actually kind of enjoying the polite conversation with Elliot. She just kind of goes back to talking to him.
I'm not winning any Oscars, but, you know.
It's a hell of a lot better than, what is that, The Room or whatever?
Yeah.
But,
I did not hit Howard.
I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So,
you open it up out of line of sight, and you see written on it is, get the nun to fall asleep. And with that, we're
First thought
gonna.
is knock her unconscious.
Exactly where my head was just like, Kong!
I walk up behind the nun.
What's next? Yeah. Like,
We're gonna flash back to Ulnok. Ulnok, you are out in a hallway.
oh.
You can see that you have ripped your way through.
Just carnage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those checks you were making were strength checks in the real world, and you broke through the bars and you blasted the door out of the way.
I didn't know I wanted to fail you guys. My bad.
The one time
Twas
you
as
don't
if it
roll
was
low.
intentional.
Gotta roll the bad dice.
All right, I need you to roll a d20.
Maybe you should roll the bad dice.
8.
You throw yourself against the first door you see.
Okay.
It's the door that you smell the strongest fear coming out of.
Okay.
You crack it, you do not break through. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Damn it. All right. My weakest stats. All right.
I think you want to roll high on this one. Just
Yeah.
yes.
That was a +1. It would have been better, but it's a -1. 13.
You are back in the comms room.
Yeah, I think. Is that a 4? Okay, yeah. Correct. Got it.
Okay, you are back in the comms room of the boat.
Okay.
You just had the sinking feeling in your stomach as you realized what's about to happen.
Mhm.
Pick up the story from there.
So I get a sinking feeling immediately after the third ping, because it is not this is a good ping. It's a bad sound. It's an alert. And with that, I also hear another alert. It's that something's being shot at the aircraft. Lieutenant Snyder is losing his mind, understandably so. Like, this is AC 717. We're friendly aircraft. We have a joint training exercise, and you can hear everything else happening behind him. You can still hear the chime of the warning light. They got missile. They immediately go into evasive maneuvers, trying to evade whatever's coming at them. So you hear taking evasive maneuvers, and they're banking, they're turning. I see chaff. Well, no, I wouldn't see anything. I would just hear this now that I think about it. So I'm inside the boat. I don't see any of this. But so they release chaff, and that's to kind of, if it's a heat-seeking missile, it's meant to disperse that heat so it misses the aircraft. It'll go after the chaff.
That's the flares you see,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Unfortunately, since it's not a combat mission, they don't have a lot of countermeasures on this aircraft at the moment. We weren't expecting to be fired at,
Right.
It's something you have on there just in case, so everybody knows how to load it and everything. But the chaff is not regularly loaded. One side is, not both. So he's taking evasive maneuvers. The chaff goes off. I hear the alert and everything, the chaos inside the aircraft. And then I hear a very loud explosion and radio static.
I need you to roll a d20.
don't know if that's good or bad. 18. I guess we'll find out.
That's probably
Go ahead and
bad.
keep. What happens now?
With that, panic kind of starts to set into everybody because everybody heard the explosion. They're a few hundred yards away, but they're still close enough to be in comms, which means they're less than a mile away as far as I can recall. That may or may not be accurate. Sorry, Navy guys that are listening to this. I haven't been an AT for a very long time. Anyway.
Things have just changed if it's wrong.
Right, right. It's the technology's better. It's not from the Vietnam era, but it was when I was in. So,
It's
unfortunately, it wasn't even that long ago. But
it's made it all the way to Desert Shield.
yeah. So everybody's in a panic. We hear the call for aircraft shot down through the boat, which means we're probably going to start banking towards it, right? Like we're basically doing a man overboard. We're going to try to retrieve anybody that we can, if that's at all possible. So everybody, you don't always wear your life jacket when you're inside, even during flight ops, but I'm inside and we just let the aircraft go. So I would still have my life jacket on and everything. So all the gear is ready. We're about to bank towards that. And we're just trying to respond to this. It's organized chaos because it's been drilled, but it's still chaotic.
Full speed towards the incident.
We're going
to
that. We're going to try to get people out there and try to get pontoon boats, something to see if we can recover anything. And if it wasn't the aircraft that just got shot down, we would be sending SAR swimmers. However, they were in that aircraft and we have the other one on the other hangar ready to go, but it's folded. It'll take a few minutes to get ready, to get out. It would be a quicker response as determined by higher ups to send the boat their direction and try to do that.
Are you guys prepping the other AT to
the other AC
get ready to go?
That would be the proper response. So we would be as quickly as we can going into the other hangar, which is just across the hall. There's a little P-way there, and then you cross that, and there's the other hangar. There's 2 hangars on a destroyer, if I recall correctly.
I would assume even with a boat that big, when it's all of a sudden changing direction and flooring it.
Yeah.
Let's have you roll a 20.
16.
All right. You do a pretty good job. You only bounce off of a door frame as you're booking it shit over there. You don't eat it. Nothing comes at you.
It's not unusual for a Navy guy to be walking on walls when we're banking or in high seas, so.
Right. And while you run to go back to the aircraft, you come back to again. You find yourself in a dark room. You are surrounded by the thick scent of fear, and you feel a rush of rage flowing through you. Okay. Rage that even parallels or goes beyond the rage you normally feel in combat. This is true animalistic bloodlust.
Primal, yeah.
You look around, and you see the body of a monk laying before you. His blood coats the walls in thick black splotches, and you hear his pulse growing weaker.
Okay.
Your stomach gurgles in anticipation as you hunch over his body. Okay. You feel your hands reach forward out of your control, but the hands you see are covered in matted fur and end in claws that are dripping with crimson blood. Your claws are easily able to shred his robes open, exposing his chest. You force your claws into his flesh right along where the rib cage would meet in the middle. I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Roll one of the ones that's rolling high. You keep rolling so well on
the ones that don't matter. Yeah. So that was a 9 minus 1. That's going to be an 8.
Oh, shit. No.
The rest of the party.
Did we hear him busting through that door?
He's beyond the
Are
other
you
side of the
still
compound.
actively looking? I will say that neither Mel nor Elliot are able to because they are actively engaging their brains in other activities.
I think the other two of us, because we're not doing other stuff, we've just been kind of still listening.
Let's go ahead and roll with the advantage perception checks.
Yeah, I probably went to the window to see if I could see
Same.
anything. Natural 20.
Jesus, I can't roll for shit. 6, so passive 10
Okay.
again.
Total of 24.
James, you not only hear the doors get burst open, you hear the screaming as he tears into the monk.
Oh, fuck. Guys, I don't think it's going too well. What do we do? They're talking to a wall. What do we do?
I
Do you say that?
feel like
No. Well, probably, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
The nun looks at you weird when you say that they're talking to a wall.
we're over by
It's
the
fine.
window, and she's in conversation with Elliot right now.
Yeah, it sounded like he whispered it ish. Right on.
I feel like we need to intervene, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go. It's probably a really stupid idea. No, probably.
Definitely.
It's a very stupid idea.
Yes.
However,
At that point, because I think Mel wasn't listening and was involved in her little parchment thing, she's going to message probably James, because Elliot's in conversation, and we know that the conversation would oddly lurch if I
Sure.
messaged him.
Yes.
So I'm going to message James.
Point of order, does she still have that ability?
I do right now.
Okay.
It works.
Okay.
It doesn't feel as good as it has, but it works.
never
Just check it
felt
because
that
I was
great.
like, oh, wait, you. Okay, got it.
It
You
comes
know,
with like that sinking dread in
You
your
get-
stomach.
You get the sinking dread. You get the scream on your end.
that's what James hears. He hears the scream, and then Mel goes, "Oh fuck."
not helpful.
No.
You could have just said that.
No, sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so I'll update James on what I just found and be like, I know that whatever's going on is probably really bad, but we need to try to get the nun to go to sleep. It'll help.
He's turning a monk into a pinata.
That's the monk's problem right now. We're in here, and there's someone who claims that they'll help us, or trying to help us, in the wall.
Did you read the fine print this time?
Yes! I read the fine print! I read the whole parchment, back, front, and sideways. And it says, get the nun to fall asleep, and frankly, that's not going to hurt anyone, so what's the worst that can happen? Help me figure out how to get the nun to fall asleep.
Does it just need to be incapacitated, or does it actually need to be asleep?
It just says fall asleep. Like, get the nun to fall asleep. That's all that's written on the parchment.
Can it be any more vague?
I'm sorry. It's like 3 inches square. Like, there's not a lot of room. Tell Emery.
Okay, apparently Mel found a new person who's apparently going to be super helpful.
Okay.
I love how you don't trust that. I don't blame you.
You're just saying that
Out loud,
in the room.
at regular
The
volume.
nun.
Maybe quietly tell
I'm
Emery.
hoping that we're nuts at this point, that the nun is like...
Just quietly tell Emery, you dumb shit.
You can also message Emery.
Fine, I'll message Emery. James is clearly beside himself.
I'm heading for the door at this point.
Panicking.
Yeah, he's panicking. So that seeing that James is panicking, at this point, I'll have that same conversation with Emery, which has the same gross, disgusting scream, and I'll be like, ugh.
She does flinch when it happens.
So does
on
Mel.
edge.
Ugh, God, that's
Elliot,
nauseating.
just because they're doing an interesting job at discretion, can you roll another persuasion check to see if you can keep the nun engaged in this conversation?
Bam, bam, pick up.
If it's somehow weirdly better, you can go for performance. But no, what'd you roll?
7.
Okay.
When I see James go towards the door, I'm going to say, James, do not go out there.
Were we trying to keep him from killing anybody?
We're trying to keep him from killing us first. If you go out there, it's going to be worse. If I thought we could help, I would be right behind you.
So we're just gonna let him just have monk buffet?
If we go out there, we will have to kill him. Are you ready to kill him?
I wasn't planning on killing him. I was planning on hide and seek with deadlier.
If you're gonna go out there prepared to poke pointy things into our friend Ulnok, you realize that you're probably gonna have to kill him.
I wouldn't stab him. I'm not gonna get that close.
You should.
And if he bites you and we have to go through this shit again, there's only so many of you I can keep locked up. And I already failed on the other one.
I just don't like it when we leave somebody high and dry.
He's out there.
He's
Probably
winning.
not in danger.
Actually.
His sanity's in danger.
Exactly.
That's always
We
been
don't
true.
want him going the way of Griff.
We don't, but we can't stop him right now.
Like, how is he supposed to keep the monster under control when he's...
What are you
Emery,
gonna do?
I want you to
Kumbaya?
hit Elliot with a persuasion.
I was gonna distract him. If he's after me and I can avoid...
I'm rolling so terribly.
Elliot can be persuaded at this point.
Under
No,
10.
This is a
What's my
terrible
persuasion?
idea.
Like I said, it's a stupid idea.
Above all, we're
12.
actually supposed to be protecting Jacob. So if you
I
all
would say
go
that
herring
one
off,
passed.
you're going to leave me to protect him?
I never
Wouldn't
said that
pass.
I
everyone
don't
had to
think
go
so.
with
Probably
me.
not.
That's not high enough.
I don't think it's high enough.
You're
You
going
know
to
that
take
your logic
Jacob
is sound.
with
Every
No,
bit as much
I
as
said
theirs is.
you guys don't have to come with me.
Oh, hell yeah. No. We've got to stick together on this. We have to.
I don't like it.
I don't for a moment like it either. But
I
don't
think
think
you're
we
right.
have a better option. If we had a better option, I'd be right with you. I really
If we had
would.
a better option, we wouldn't be here.
I'm
I
trying
know.
to come up with
Just
one
because
right
it
now,
went
but
one
no
way,
one's
let's have you
listening
roll
to
a
me.
persuasion back.
Try and charge. I haven't.
3.
Fuck me. You both feel very firm about your stances.
I would like to join in this persuasion.
Go for it.
Our original
I,
plan.
On whose side are you on?
I am on Elliot's side.
Okay.
We need to stay put. That was part of the plan. And plus, Elliot doesn't know this, but I think that I might have another plan. And I think that it could, if nothing else, it'll give us a way out if we need it.
Perfect.
So I
Because you
am
have that.
persuaded.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I haven't
With-
rolled above a 10 yet tonight.
Do you have
Doing great.
fuck is it called?
Proficiency?
That's the word.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do.
Bad proficient. You do have proficiency in it? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
12.
We're all just in a stalemate. None of us like anything that anyone else is saying.
The original plan.
Sorry, the messaging is making me nauseous.
the original
It's
plan.
worth mentioning. I know you guys aren't exactly Team None here. I get it. All right. If you go out there, you're either taking the boy towards the beast or you're leaving the boy in a room with me. You don't seem to trust me. I would not let the boy anywhere near a wolf.
No, we
I
don't
agree
intend
with
to.
the nun on this one.
I hate leaving Ulnok out there, but I don't know what we could do.
I mean, quite frankly, and I mean this with no disrespect, it would make my night much easier if you just left the boy with me.
Yeah, she's.
But-
We have no interest in making your life easy.
That's kind of the vibe I'm picking up. I don't like anybody dying. The monks are my family. You guys are supposed to be our guests. That's not going great. I'd rather
No,
you
it's
not
not.
die here. Seems how you are the first draft of our new missionary mission. For whatever the right word of that is, it's not missionary mission, but that's what it is now.
That's what we're going with.
Just for what it's worth, those are my 2 cents. Do with that what you will.
What if Jacob's in a room, right? I'm assuming.
He's in the main.
I'm
room
guessing
with
we're
you
all
guys.
together.
Yeah, I think
in
you all
one
are in the
room
same
here.
room.
I think he's sitting in the corner with Charlie.
Yeah.
Probably.
I never said that you guys had to go with me.
James, that's stupid and we all know it.
Exactly.
If you go outside, you're going to die.
Would you rather we just kill you first before you get yourself turned into a werewolf?
At At some point, he's going to get to this room.
And
The cell didn't stop him. That door down there didn't stop him.
but if he comes to this room, we know where he's going to come through. He's going to come right through that door. We can be prepared
And
for
then we
that.
kill him then?
I told him we would.
My hope is that I could just...
Did you see how fast that werewolf moved? You can't move that fast. He will catch you. You're good at hiding, but if he gets a whiff, you can't hide your scent. If I thought you had a chance, I'd help you. But there's no way it's gonna work.
He'd hate the thought of hurting you, too.
Every monk that he kills, his sanity is ticking down.
Also,
know.
every monk that he kills is somebody that is trying to bring a Moritar and overcome our world. I'm sorry, James. These people, sorry, sister, is the enemy.
But killing
They've
the
chosen
enemy,
to be the enemy. And I'm sorry, I wish they wouldn't have.
but killing the enemy at the expense of his free will, his sanity,
Honestly,
his being.
when he kills the enemy normally, it's probably a little bit expensive.
Yeah, but he does it with a smile. and a
Case
little
in point!
and a little song at the end. He doesn't lick his
exactly my
chops and
point.
go for the next one.
But James, what do you think it'll do for his sanity if he kills us? It'll be worse.
He might still wow. He might still stand a chance.
Not with the way he's rolling.
That or... that or it might already be too late.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We cannot, we absolutely cannot control whatever's going on in Ulnok's giant mind. However, we have other things, and Mel looks pointedly at both James and Emery, that we might be able to control, and maybe we should work on those right now. Maybe? Just a little maybe?
I'll be honest, I don't know how to work on those ones.
I got a thing, but the last time that I tried to ad-lib a thing, it didn't work very well.
That won't put anybody to sleep. Hey, Florence. Just because we're all very keyed up tonight, as I'm sure you've noticed, an observant woman like yourself.
Do you have any sleepy time tea?
Actually, I was thinking, does anything in your order, do you guys do any meditation or calming exercises or things like that?
We partake in prayer.
You know what? I think we should work on that. You prayer, I'll meditate, and these guys can keep watch. And maybe one of your gods or something will keep us all from dying tonight.
It's
And
Lord
I-
Astrophile's will that you are alive when he gets here.
Yeah, perfect. So he'll keep us from dying tonight. Do you ever start talking and you have those moments where you can't believe the words coming out of your mouth? Mel's having that moment right now.
That's most of my
I
conversations.
think most
with
of
y'all.
the rest of the party's kind of staring at you.
Like they're staring at Mel's like, I have to keep talking even though these words are like, what the fuck am I going to say next?
This would be a good time for me to start teaching the boy some of our prayer rituals.
He has had an extremely trying day, and I don't think this is the time for that.
Why
at all.
don't you
It's
teach?
very calming.
You know
and
what?
peaceful.
Oh, why don't you teach me some of the rituals? Because
I can teach the both of you.
perfect. That'll work just fine.
So
And
she-
Mel looks pointedly at Emery and James. I explained it to you in your head. Don't look at me like that.
That doesn't mean she likes this course of action.
Fair.
And if she's teaching, then she's not meditating.
Oh, before you guys start meditating, I think Sister Florence needs to get to the back of the room,
There's also
away
a very
from the
good
door.
when she faces
With
turns
Jacob
the other
and
direction.
Charlie.
Y'all could hit her in the head with something. Like I'm not opposed to that.
all of the bedrooms are equipped with our prayer mats.
Perfect. Let's go into the bedroom.
And she goes into one of the bedrooms, and under the mattress, it had looked kind of like a rug, which she thought was weird that it's under the bed instead of near the bed. But she pulls it out, and it's about the size of like a welcome mat.
So-
While she's
honestly,
in the bedroom,
when-
can I pull the door closed behind her. She went
Honestly,
in there.
as soon as her back turns to me, I'm gonna try to hit her with something and knock her unconscious.
Okay, what? And
Like the hilt of, I don't know, their candlesticks are on the table or something.
there'd be.
Yeah,
there'd be
I'm gonna
candlesticks
try to
in
hit her in the head with a candlestick as soon as her back turns.
there. Go ahead and roll an unarmed attack.
Suddenly we're playing Clue. Mel with the
Yes,
candlestick.
we are.
Well, with the candlestick, it'd be an improvised weapon. It'd be a
Yeah.
D4 plus strength.
Do that.
Okay, so that's 14 to hit. Do I get a non-force?
Your strength, probably.
It'll be a normal melee attack, so it'd be strength plus proficiency,
15 to hit.
Hits. Actually, that would hit. Yeah.
and it'd be a D4 plus strength for your damage. And you could designate
2
non-lethal
points.
damage.
Of non-lethal damage.
I'm gonna say. Let's see.
The one person who would be really good at this is currently wolfing out on a monk.
Hey, Mel needs to get better. Quick.
I need practice.
She doesn't see this coming.
Yeah.
And you are able to drop her.
Um,
You hit her right, either right in the ear or right at the base of the skull where it meets the neck, whatever. And you just, boom, she falls like a sack of freaking potatoes, just down. She wasn't prepared for that.
If there was Elliot, he's going, holy crap!
and then once that happens,
What did
Mel
you just attack
Mel
that
walks
nun
out of the
for?
room holding a candlestick and then very calmly closes the door behind her. Okay, now let's get to business.
Oh, listener, hello there. I didn't realize you'd be out tonight. There be monsters afoot. One should use caution when wandering through strange lands. Stick with me a moment. Maybe we can keep each other safe. While I have your attention, let me extend an invitation to you. The Grand Junction Comic-Con is coming up on September 20th and 21st, and you can meet most of the cast of this tale there. We will be hosting a panel on the 21st at 3:30 regarding tips and tricks to run and play games. The entry fee is a mere $5 or a Mesa County Public Library card. We will be passing out some treats, as well as sharing advice we've collected over our years of playing tabletop role-playing games. If you have enjoyed listening to this dark tale, follow us on social media. We post every day, and odds are if you enjoy this content, our social media accounts will be very much up your alley. If you want to help support this podcast, please follow us, review us, etc. on your podcasting app of choice. If you are a Spotify listener, leave a comment answering the question of the week. I think I hear the beast leaving for now. We'd best part ways. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Ulnok. You are now standing over a shredded corpse. The lungs are visible.
So I've ripped the chest open.
You have. And there is a gaping hole near the lungs.
Okay.
Presumably where the heart.
Mm-hmm.
You taste iron. And honestly, something not crazy far from beef.
Okay, yeah.
Very, very, very rare.
Yeah.
Steak. It's got a hearty chew to it. And it's not horribly unpleasant. Your beast is enjoying this quite a lot. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Why is it wisdom of all things? All right.
Because you can't think your way out of this.
That was a good one. We're going to go 17.
You see, the light catches just right behind you. You see a large window.
Okay.
you see that you are on the ground level. You smell more fear. You feel something inside you trying to draw you to the neighboring rooms. You gain temporary control. What do you do?
Okay, so I see window, which
And this is
theoretically
importantly leading away from the cathedral, not into
right,
the
not
donut.
deeper into the pub.
Yes. This is back in the hallway, a large stained glass window.
Right. Okay. Since Ulnok has temporarily at the moment regained control and knows that if he gives in to the beast, which means probably feeding and killing more things and ripping out more hearts, he needs to get the fuck out of there, right? Like, I don't know what's in the woods, but I know it's not a shitload of people who are locked in rooms that I can easily break into. I'm going to take the window and I'm going to head out.
Perfect. You leap through the window. You do take some damage. It doesn't tickle.
Okay.
And you take off running for the tree line. As you're getting close to the tree line, you can feel yourself starting to lose control again. You feel the beast starting to take back over.
Mm-hmm.
Just as that happens, you see a doe
Okay.
see you and book shit into the woods.
As I'm sure it would.
You are goddamn scary.
Yeah.
They don't take well to things charging at top speed at them either.
Because here's the thing. So Ulnok's a 6'5", 250-pound man. Most werewolf things that I've ever seen make that son of a bitch bigger. This is a giant fucking werewolf. It's huge.
Yeah. You take off. You feel the beast take back over, just as you can see the scent line of the deer, and you give full pursuit of that animal.
Okay.
The rest of you just saw Mel knock the fucking nun out.
See, I would have
Okay,
done that, but most
so-
of my stuff isn't blunt. I would have killed her.
Well, that's why I used a candlestick. Okay, so Mel will update Elliot as to what's going on. And I couldn't come up with a good way to actually make her fall asleep, so here we are.
In the meantime, Emery's gonna take like a chair or bench or something and wedge it in the door so it doesn't open.
Okay.
Her side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say they open into the master room, so you can do that.
Actually, right before he says, did you at least place her in so she's not going to choke on her own?
Yeah, I rolled her over.
Okay.
I did full, college drunk night.
You knocked her out, then you kicked her.
No,
Okay, no,
you
that's
roll
fine.
them over
All right,
on their
I just
sides, so if they wake up puking, they don't die. Yeah.
Yes, that's the
Don't swallow their tongue.
the rescue position.
Yeah, I don't
I
know,
can't remember.
but anyway.
Anyway, all right. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I know these guys are the enemy, but I don't feel like killing unarmed nuns. That
Well,
just
that's
offends
why I just knocked her unconscious.
Thanks.
I wasn't trying to kill her.
why? So okay, hey, and he knocks on the wall.
Yeah,
Okay,
well-
she's asleep. Now what?
You hear. You jump to that 3 bites faster than I thought you were going to.
Sorry, I didn't want to explain it again.
No, that's
so-
fine. That's totally fine. You hear from inside the painting a click, and then the painting does swing open. And James actually would have the best chance of recognizing this. This has a very vault door look to it. So it opens up, and you can see as it swings out, the edge that would have been into the quote-unquote doorframe has got 3 metal circles that you assume are rods that would have penetrated into the wall, making this door
Stout.
impossible to open without some incredible force.
Yeah, it takes like a werewolf.
And inside of this, you see a small room, very, very scantily decorated. There's like a table and a couple chairs, some candlelight, and you see a fair bit away on the other side of the room, standing as obviously trying to display non-threatening behavior as is possible. You see a monk. He has his hood off. He's the first individual we've seen with their hood off. The man is bald, and every ounce of skin that would have been covered by his hood is just coated in scars.
Dang.
Oh my god.
He looks almost like something along the lines of a horrific burn victim, but there's also raised scars as if he's suffered cuts.
This guy went through that cleansing ritual a lot.
That's what I was thinking.
Again, he's very, I don't want to say defensive posture, because that indicates he thinks you're going to attack. He's really more just like
Submissive posture?
yeah, submissive posturing, kind of what you would do with a dog you're not super certain about, trying to show that you can trust. You know, not necessarily like, hey, sniff my hand, but you know, he's got his hands forward, clearly showing that he's unarmed. He's actually allowed his robe's sleeves to right up a bit, so you can see there's literally nothing up his sleeve. And the same thing there, his arms are just covered with scar tissue.
Dang.
And he wasn't quite what I had in mind, but
We don't do
you're in
subtle
here.
well.
I'm
We
sorry,
did not
we
have a
couldn't
better
come up
plan.
with a better option. I
I
apologize.
realized that when you yelled at the painting.
Hi, I'm Elliot Brandybane. Who the hell are you?
He says, my name's Brother Isaac. You see him physically wince when he says that. He's like, no, damn it. My name is Jeff.
Ooh, we breaking the programming.
Hi, Jeff.
And he is obviously in horrible pain as he gets through that.
Speaking of pain, did we hear that window pane break?
No, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I would say that Mel knocking a nut out that none of you saw
We were
coming.
no longer
Does-
paying
Caught your
attention.
attention. You were no longer paying attention. Yes.
Does there look like there's enough room? Is this room large enough for us all to get in here?
Yeah.
Elliot's going to go out and say, guys, grab all your stuff and grab everybody and get in here.
All right.
Okay.
Scoop up
Is there
stuff
a
and-
way out except for the way in?
And I look at Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, he says yes. Let's put
You
the
can
room-
actually, you can even see the door.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys, there's another door in here. Get the room kind of put back together and let's get in here.
And then you're Jeff, is
Yes.
it?
He says his name's Jeff.
I know. Once we get everything, I just want to have a chat.
That's
I'll-
good. Let's get our stuff in
I'll
here.
put
and
down the
let's-
We're on-
candlestick.
A little bit of a timeline here.
Yes.
Yeah. We can walk and talk. It's good
Yeah.
for you.
Yep. Emery's running around the room, grabbing stuff and chucking it in bags. She doesn't care whose stuff is going into what.
I feel like we
As long as
probably
it's packed.
didn't really unpack much.
Yeah.
But
Weirdly enough, I wasn't planning on staying long.
yeah. And
Yeah,
don't forget old Nalt's bag. He might still
Yep.
need that.
Yeah.
God, what the hell does he have in this thing?
A war hammer and 2 axes.
And Phoebe's will carry it.
There's
That
got
would
like
be heavy as fuck.
So we grab all our stuff out of the room, clear the room, sort of set it mildly to rights, and go, Jeff, are we good? Should we just shut the door?
yes.
Right.
As soon as you guys are out.
The DM just punched himself.
As soon as you guys are into the room, he pulls the painting closed. And you see him kind of just tap randomly on the back, and you hear a click. He gives the painting a little bit of a shove, and it doesn't even twitch. He says, "For right now, I do not want what's happened to me to happen to that boy. I can get you out of here."
Okay.
I'm going to make a quick insight check.
Go for it.
I feel like I would do the same thing.
Yeah, like 7.
Have you? Is this from having to undergoing the cleansing ritual repeatedly, or is that just normal for what this group does?
You believe him. Importantly, 17 believes him.
Mel believes it because she's gullible.
19.
You believe him slightly more.
Like, I'm not even gonna roll.
Yeah. Yeah, you can, yes, this is I've been through the cleansing, the ordeal of willful torment.
See, I knew it was a bad idea. Okay, Jeff.
I've been through it 12 times.
Oh
so.
my God.
Well, thank God it didn't take, huh?
Okay, Jeff, what do we need to do?
At this point, we're going to move forward through this more like a skill challenge. Where it's going to be 5 successes to get you out. 4 fails is going to get you caught.
Okay.
As we've discussed in the past, but as a refresher, you guys kind of tell me the skills that you're going to use. And we'll set the DC kind of accordingly. Base DC is going to be a 14. Unless you tell me something real dumb. Or something kind of genius. That'll adjust the DC accordingly. Importantly, he takes the lead. And he is able to open up the door back into the hallway. And you are able, you're starting off with an empty hallway. Everybody has locked themselves in their rooms because there's a monster quite literally loose in the building. To everybody's knowledge.
Right.
You don't know that he's gone.
Okay. And Elliot wants to make a stealth check.
Perfect. Just for the sake of being able to keep track of things, let's roll an initiative order. Elliot can go first because you're probably going to roll the highest anyway. Nobody can touch yours.
No. Elliot got a 28.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to write this down.
Jesus.
He rolled pretty good. He can roll higher.
Mel?
6.
Nice.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum,
Mel's juggling Jacob's backpack, her backpack. Like, it's a thing.
Mel's a Sherpa right now.
Charlie's trying to look
That's
her-
weird. Jacob rolled a 6.
Yeah,
Going
see,
on your
exactly.
You guys are struggling together.
Yes.
James.
No, put your arm through the other
Sorry,
other
19.
hole. It's, trying to adjust children.
And Emery?
12.
Not on the number, but on where to put people.
Yeah, space.
On that note, Elliot rolled a stealth check to sneak out into the hallway without drawing suspicion. How did you do?
He did a 21.
All right. You successfully sneak out into the hallway. That is 1 success. James, you guys are out in the hallway quietly moving.
what kind of floor is this? Is it like hardwood floor? Is it like...
It's stone.
Okay, never mind. I was going to check for squeaky floorboards, but... can I still do an investigation check for, like...
Obstacles. and
obstacles to,
traps.
like, make sure there's like no one's peeking out or anything?
Sure.
Yeah. 17.
You are able to successfully see that about 4 doors down, there's one door that isn't shut all the way. And so you signal to the rest of the team, show them the door, and you guys are able to slip past without drawing attention.
Cool.
That is 2 successes. Emery.
I was thinking maybe like a sleight of hand to like make sure we keep all our stuff and like remove any trace on our way out, like so we're not leaving any sign that we went through here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, 18.
Ooh. All right.
Is that like an analog pass without a trace spell?
Kind of, yeah. I'm like at the back of the group, just making sure like everyone's not like no one's dropping anything. If there's dust on the floor, it's getting scuffed, so we can't tell like which direction we're going, stuff like that.
Perfect. And as you're moving, you see that I think it was James picked up Ulnok's pack.
Yep.
And struggling with the weight, you see that the 2 axes are getting ready to clink into each other. You're able to get up there and help him shift the weight before it happens.
Maybe even like take one of them off and slip it into my own pack. And
God, thank you.
share the weight a little bit.
Just in case it matters, which one do you grab?
The silvered one.
Perfect. You have his fireman's axe.
I don't think I'm good at wielding it, but
But you're good at carrying it.
Mel, you guys are doing pretty well. No pressure.
So I'm really bad at all of the skills we need right now.
Any chance I could run as a deception check to try to move in a deceiving way so that if somebody did see us, they might just think that we were
Raiding
supposed
the
to be
kitchen.
there. Yeah. Or like, I don't know, maybe I grabbed one of the robes and threw it on over my clothes to look like maybe it was a couple of monks and like people escorting
Okay.
like to try to make it look less like, hey, we're, running out on here.
Sure. You can roll deception for that.
Don't mind us. We're off to the market.
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh, that's a 21.
All right. You're up to 4. Elliot. Can't use the same skill twice, by the way. That'd be really boring.
So looking at Brother Isaac, I see how very bad a shape
Jeff.
he is.
He introduced himself as Brother
Oh,
Isaac
that's
and then had a
correct.
stroke and introduced
Jeff.
himself as Jeff.
And Elliot notices that he's might not have been all that long ago that he went through the last session, and he would like to make a medicine check to attempt to make Jeff feel a little bit better.
Sure. Go ahead and roll that.
15.
Just passes. Yeah, you're able to find some fairly fresh wounds. And you're able to, you guys get around a corner out of obvious living quarters. You're not doing this right in front of somebody's room.
Sure.
You guys have got first aid kits, so you're able to bandage him up a little bit.
Or like he's limping a little bit, and I'm able to kind of tie a brace around.
Yeah.
Kind of help him not limp so much.
There you go. Perfect. I don't remember how many successes. So
That was
That was
5.
5.
that was 5. No, total. Is what I remember.
You
Five.
I
said
think it was.
5.
You said
Was
5.
it 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 successes, 4
failures.
failures.
No, then
Yep.
you guys just straight across the board, just nobody failed. Just
Woohoo.
got 5 successes.
Yay! Go team!
Mildly less exciting than I thought it would be.
We finally didn't roll
Our dice
crappy.
decided to roll well for once this
Oh.
session.
So you guys are able to you get out of the living quarters. You get down the stairwell. The nice thing is this is all stone, so there isn't any opportunity for a creaky stair. There's no. The worst thing that could happen is you trip, and it's just gonna really hurt when you hit. 'Cause it's very hard. But you guys are able to very carefully, and with Jeff's guidance, able to find your way out to the main front door of the compound. And he is able to start opening the door. Thankfully, as we've stated several times throughout this podcast, they take immaculate care of everything. So despite the size and the weight of this door, it's fairly quiet. It creaks a little. I mean, we're dealing with a big oak and iron bound door. It creaks a little bit, but it's pretty darn quiet. You guys are safely out the front of the compound. You guys are successfully outside the front of the compound with Jeff.
All right, now what, Jeff?
Are you going with us or are you staying?
Should you stay? Should you go now?
This is not the time, James.
Sorry.
I think I need to stay.
Can you survive that again?
Can I do an insight check and see if
To be
that's the
fair-
brother talking or if that's Jeff talking?
They don't have anyone that can do the cleansing ritual right now.
That's true. It could get better
Go ahead and
here.
roll for it.
Oh, it's really good. Where is it? There it is. 9.
You're not sure.
I mean, your funeral.
Jeff, if you want to go with us, you can go with us. If you decide to stay, we never saw you.
I appreciate that. I don't know if I will survive if I leave here.
Can I please remind you real quick that there is a raging werewolf inside that building?
I'm not saying I'm going to survive inside either. They're about to anoint a new high patron and a high matron. I helped you. I am almost certainly going to be the first recipient of the ordeal for them.
We'll help you if you want. Don't know your circumstances, Jeff, but if you want to, you can come with us. And we're getting out of here.
I will. Where are you going?
We're not going to tell you, but it'll be a way.
Settlement or nature?
Eventually settlement. But in the meantime,
Nature until we get to a settlement for sure.
If you don't, I will try.
Cool.
I will try to come with you.
Okay. We've got horses. We're going to go get them.
Okay.
And at the moment, we have a free one.
That's true. At the moment, we have a horse without a rider.
Oh, yeah.
What was that one's name again?
Bart.
Was that Bart?
Yeah.
I appreciate you being willing to help me.
You helped us.
fair trade.
We should move.
Yes, we should. So we
Hustle
want
on out to
to
the-
get up to the stables,
stables.
get the horses, get them saddled, and get down the road. Because my understanding, as the player, there was one road in here and one road out. It sound like
The road you took came straight up smack to the door.
right. Was there?
You would have seen when you were doing your tour
Uh-huh.
the same road presumably comes straight out the other side of this.
Oh, okay. Is it
Almost
going,
as if this building interrupted the road.
the road? I think we would prefer to go east.
And we'll say the way you did not come from would go east. It goes up the mountain, but you would have to cross this mountain to continue east.
Kind of a pass.
Yeah,
Okay.
we know what's back that way. I think we should continue.
I agree.
Agreed.
So what are we planning on doing about Ulnok?
Ulnok will find us
He'll
if he
find
becomes
us in the
human
morning,
again.
and we're going to watch out for him tonight. And Elliot's going to pull his silver, specifically his silver arrows, and he's going to have his silver arrows at hand.
Perfect.
Which
Which-
was amazing with that new quiver when he reached for it. The arrows he pulled out, each one of them were silver. He didn't fumble a bit.
Yep.
Which side of the compound is like the gardens and stuff? Like the east or the?
So we had you are currently on the downslope
Mm-hmm.
to get to the main entrance. Gardens were
On the right side of the compound.
south, I suppose. Yeah, right. To your right would be, if you're looking at the compound, gardens to your right, horses and whatnots were on the exact opposite.
Okay.
Okay.
And there wasn't much on
So
the
we
left
want
side,
to head around towards the north.
Yeah.
To get to the horses.
to the east. To get to the
Horses.
We're
You're
on,
on the
we're on
west
the west side. You
east
said
side, exact opposite side of the building is where the horses are.
And the road.
okay. Sorry.
East. South is gardens.
I thought you meant on the opposite side of the gardens.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. No, opposite side of you.
Okay. That makes sense.
Oh.
I would still vote going north side just because that would put us in shadows and we can move a little more stealthily.
I'm good. Well, it's nighttime now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's full moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everybody
That's
should
still
be
gonna be
inside
on the
tonight,
south
but
side
yeah,
of the
I'm with you.
building.
Let's go.
So I think when they're while we're discussing methods, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my broom and I'm going to pull Jacob aside and explain okay, you've probably read about this. This is an actual magic broomstick. Do not play with it right now. But if anything happens to any of us, get on the broomstick, say the magic word, and I tell him, up.
Okay.
Look, I didn't know what I was getting into. Wow, I say that a lot. Anyway, if anything happens to any of us, whether it's because of something that happens here in the castle or maybe a monster or anything at all, take this and fly away from here.
Okay.
We'll explain more in the morning, but for right now, just keep a hold of that, and that's last resort.
At a minimum, fly up in the air.
Yes.
Remember up. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're on it and you get up and you want to come down, just stay down.
Okay.
It's very straightforward. It's easier than learning stick. Shit.
It is.
Look at you!
Oh,
Jacob, you're so
little
clever.
guy beat me to it.
Okay. So you guys are going to move stealthily or just haul ass? What's your goal? Get the hell out of here or hide the hell out
I'm
of
thinking
here?
everybody's hiding inside from Ulnok. I say we just keep
Yeah.
haul
Okay.
butt around there.
Yeah, he's got enough snakes in there. Let's just
Yeah.
go.
Going through the shadows, but quickly.
We're
Okay.
sneakily hauling ass.
Then you guys are able to, you make it towards the livestock. You do see once you come to the other side, right as you're about to clear the corner, you do, now you're leaving the shadows. This area is not in shadow. You see that one of the pigs is incredibly dead.
Guys.
You guys go get the horses saddled. I want to check this out. I would like to look for tracks.
Okay, go for it.
We'll hustle. The rest of us will hustle to the stable and start throwing saddles on horses.
I believe this would qualify as your favorite terrain as well. You're now out in the woods.
14.
Okay. Because you've seen it and you've seen it recently, this is the same print
Okay.
that
And
you saw in right. It's bigger.
Yeah. And I specifically want to know which direction it goes.
It goes straight east. It hauled ass through the pig.
Is it following the road?
No, it does. It looks like it took the most direct line to the woods.
Okay.
So it's running in vaguely the same direction as the road.
Okay.
But you can see just through the clearing of the trees, the road starts to bank north as it gets to a steep point again.
All right.
And he looks like he went straight for the tree line.
Got it. Okay.
And actually, with you investigating, you see the window that he very clearly went through.
So after everybody gets the horses saddled, we'll introduce Jeff. Would you like to keep calling you Jeff? Brother Jeff? What would you prefer?
Brother.
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay. Jeff. You ride this horse. This is Bert. Bert, this is Jeff. I don't talk to horses. Ulnok does. He's a good horse. And then I'm going to go to everybody else, kind of whisper.
That was a confusing introduction.
Yeah.
Just pat the horse and keep going.
I'm going to go get everybody together. I'm going to say, guys, Ulnok got out.
Either that or there's another werewolf.
Yeah, no.
What
We're
is
just going to say.
wrong with you?
That's worst case scenario, James.
I'm just saying, our track record. Oh, shit.
Okay, we got to go, but we got to keep our eyes peeled.
Are we
if
still
anybody's-
hauling east?
Which way do
All
those
the-
tracks
go
go?
back, we just got to come back by here again.
Yeah, just
God,
follow
I don't
the
know. I don't
road.
want to go east either, but I don't want to go back.
Maybe if we move quick enough, we can get ahead of him.
Maybe. And he might. I don't know why he went off into the woods. I've got no idea, but he's out here.
Do you think he spotted something?
I wasn't there to visit with him. I don't know what he did. But we got to get out of here.
Let's just move. Let's just go.
So if anybody's got anything silver, get it at hand.
Hiya!
Is anyone good at an axe?
Can I lift it? I don't know. I'll
It's
give
the
it a
fireman's
shot.
axe. It's not
That
You
thing
know
weighs
what?
as much as you
a
do.
big
It's
one.
it can't do any worse than me being basically unarmed right now because
You
my
take the
magic makes
silver
me
axe.
queasy.
No, you're strong enough.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't
I
have the weapon proficiencies to hold this axe, so someone else take it.
I'll take the fireman's axe. Why not? What's the worst that can happen?
Is that the same fireman's axe that you used to attempt to break through a window once upon a time?
No, that was I tried to use the cheap little key ring punchy knuckle.
Oh, I meant
thing.
like through the door. Oh, is it sledgehammer?
Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sledgehammer would
This
more
was
than I did.
So we're discussing
rolled
this
pretty
while we're getting on the road. And luckily, horses could see pretty good. And a full moon night, they could see quite well.
You guys settled the horses, no problem. You were again not being particularly quiet. So now you are on the horse. How do you move? What do you do?
I'm following Elliot.
Still quietly or quickly?
Quickly, we've
Okay.
got to make. So we want.
We're just
to
gonna
move.
make time.
Yeah.
We're gonna head out because full moon, horses can see pretty good in the dark. We're on a road. we're going to push for speed. We're
Okay.
going to move by D&D rules,
this
be
is
a
gonna
fast
hurt.
pace.
Perfect.
I feel like Elliot and James would probably be up front because we can also see pretty decent.
James, you need to be
Maybe
in the
one
back.
in the back.
I need to be in the back.
You need to be in the back.
We need eyes in the back. I do not have good.
I'm going to
Fair.
follow
I
the
can't
front.
see shit at night.
You stay in the back.
Okay.
garbage perception as it is.
Same.
I'm gonna hear you coming up.
I have
But yeah.
not good perception. I'm carrying an axe, which I'm not good with. I have Jacob holding a broom on my lap. Like, this is awkward.
Yep. We got Jeff in the middle. I don't know if he's okay on a horse or not.
He's
like-
familiar. He's very clearly.
I'll put Jeff directly behind me and I'll lead the horse. Like, Jeff, I don't know if you're good at riding a horse. Just hang on, and we got to go.
Bert will follow.
Yeah, Bert's gonna follow. I'll have the reins. I'll be leading Bert.
Perfect.
Then
Once we clear into the tree line, once you're very clearly off of the ground, Mel, I need you to make a charisma save.
Ah, shit.
at least it's your good stat.
21.
Okay. Ulnok, you are tearing through the woods.
Yep. And apparently I ran directly through a pig and just fucking ripped it to shit. I didn't know I did that.
Just A-train through it.
So you tell me, what are you doing? You're a werewolf out in the woods. You were
Chasing a
chasing
doe deer.
Chasing a
Female
deer.
deer.
Doe, a deer, a female deer. Yeah.
I'm so glad we're all on the same page.
Drop of gold.
So what does Ulnok Zevulf do? You feel yourself, the immediate rage is starting to calm.
Right.
Now that you're not surrounded by the scent of fear, the intoxicating scent of fear,
Mhm.
you feel the rage inside of you start. It's still there. It's more of a simmering pot now instead of a volcano.
Okay. So it's calmer, but it's still present. Do I still have my faculties? Am I still
Sure.
kind of Ulnok?
You're kind of Ulnok.
Okay.
You feel the bestial, for one of your less weird descriptions, the bestial urges coursing through you a bit.
Right.
But you are kind of back in the driver's seat.
Okay. So I'm not full on
Right.
hungry wolf.
Right.
Right. But I'm still a hungry wolf.
Yes.
Just
You're
not
hungry like
a raging, holy shit, I need to eat something. I'm not a hangry wolf. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not a hangry one.
You're not you when you're hungry.
And a Snickers ain't gonna cut it right now. So I'm pursuing the deer, right? Like I saw it, I'm hungry.
Perfect. Go ahead
So
and
gotta be going after the deer.
give me a. We'll use your stats. Give me a survival. I think your wisdom is the same wisdom as this wisdom.
Yeah, it's a wisdom save for sure.
Is it wisdom?
Yes, and with a potential for proficiency.
Okay.
I don't know if you have a proficiency nature. It kind of weird.
Survival.
Survival,
Sorry.
less weird.
Oh, I think he might have some.
I do. So
Okay.
it's a wash.
There you go.
Because I got a -1 and a +1, so it's just whatever I roll.
No, you have a +2
Proficiency.
for proficiency.
Yeah, so you should have a +1.
You should have a +1.
I have a +1. Okay, so it
Total.
doesn't take my thing.
It already
It's
calculated.
already,
did the
it's
math
already
for you.
calculated.
Is what that tells me.
Oh, okay.
You have a
I
+2
got
for
you. So I have
proficiency,
a +1
-1 for
effectively.
wisdom.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's a 9.
All right. Now that you're back in the driver's seat, you're having a hard time getting used to the wildly enhanced sense.
It's kind of overwhelming.
Everything is dialed up. You don't have dark vision normally. Right now, you do. Everything is brighter and almost glary
Okay.
with how intense it is. Plus, you're hearing so much more,
Okay.
so much further than you normally can. You can hear the squirrels in the trees breathing. You
Oh.
can hear down at the edge of your sound, you hear the leather of a strap being cinched. you hear all the way up to the tip top of the mountain. You can hear hooves all over the place. And in the cacophony of sound, you lose track of the one you're chasing. Add to that every plant nearby. This is early spring in the mountains, so there's a lot of flowers. There is a lot of pollen. There is a lot of scent everywhere. So you lose what you're hunting for in this just almost overwhelming barrage of information.
Can you imagine how loud a werewolf sneeze would be?
Werewolf.
Because all the pollen, dude.
Yeah. So what do you, while you're almost in your conscious mind trying to protect itself from just the barrage.
Right.
We
Sensory
flash,
overload. Yeah.
Yes. You recede back into yourself. And you pick up from where you left off on the story. You were literally sprinting towards the helicopter that was still folded up, waiting to be deployed.
Right. That's right. We were getting the second aircraft ready for launch so we can perform a search and rescue mission if necessary. The boat is turning towards it. Yeah. Okay. So, we're trying to get the bird out of the hangar. So it's on like a track and it's chained down, kind of pulls itself back, right? But it's also chained and chocked. I don't know if anybody, those terms are normal for people, but got to pull the chocks and chains. So it's actually chained down because it's a small boat. It moves a lot. So I'm helping getting the chocks and chains pulled. We got to get those undone before we can get the bird out, and then re-chock and chain it once it gets out. Even though this is an emergency thing, we need to make sure it's secure before we get people in it and take off. Right? Does that all make sense? Whole crew is doing that. Get the bird out and ready to go in pretty typical response time before launch. If you're in a significant hurry, is probably about 5-7 minutes. We can usually have the bird up in 15 minutes.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So there's a chance, theoretically, at least in our heads, that we might be able to get somebody out of the water. Bird goes out. We get her up and turned.
Before you ship it, just because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Knowing what just happened to the last bird that you sent,
That's true.
do you do anything differently to make sure this one doesn't just meet the same fate? And if so, what?
Well, this would be a problem. Come to think of it. Because now I'd be worried about the codes, right? So I would have to go get new codes.
Okay.
Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Unless it was a legitimate malfunction in the aircraft itself, I need to go make sure that those codes are good. Those codes failed. So we got to figure something out. I sprint back below deck. That's the term, below deck. And get to the IT's office down there. I'm like, look, aircraft just got shot down. I'm sure you heard. You know, it's a battle cry. Battle station's over. You know, we're responding to this. He re-gets my codes pretty quick. You know, it's not a very lengthy response. He doesn't really tell me if he found he got new codes or any secure or anything like that. He's just like, I assure you, these are good. I run back up, I get it. Get them keyed in and programmed just to make sure that they're new codes and we're good to go. That, unfortunately, is not a process that can be streamlined and speedy.
Right.
So that's going to make our response time a little worse, but it is a necessary step in this particular endeavor. Because usually they'd already be pre-programmed. They'd be ready to go on both aircraft. So I get the cable out and I get that done. It usually takes about another 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll say the bird is up in the air in about 25, right? But I key them in the same way. No unusual pings, no weird stuff. Our aircraft is very close to the boat because we think we're close to where the crash site would be. We see debris. We see no bodies. Don't know what happened. After a pretty lengthy search, I'm freaking the fuck out because feel personally responsible. Whether I am or am not is irrelevant to me at this point. And I kind of just fall into myself, right? Like, I feel responsible. It's kind of like, the best thing I can kind of describe it as is like when you're just overwhelmed with something and you're just kind of, everything kind of fades. It feels like you're under, like everything sounds like you're underwater almost, like everything's muffled. I can hear a weird ringing, which is probably just my military grade tinnitus, but it doesn't matter. That's all I'm really hearing, and I'm freaking out. Right?
I believe that's called a panic attack.
Yeah, that's probably what it's called. But I've never had one to that particular extent myself, so I'm trying to describe it. It's kind of like in Saving Private Ryan after a dude gets blasted with a grenade, right? Like, just woo, and you're in yourself, you're kind of disoriented, everything sounds weird, and you're hearing this ringing, except for it's not from a, fucking concussive blast of a grenade, But they search a pretty significant area, but afraid to get closer, because we just got somebody shot down, so we don't want to get too close to coast until we figure this out.
Right.
I'm going to say, whether this is protocol or not, I'm going to say 2 hours. Right? We search for 2 hours in the vicinity of where we think the aircraft went down. That's a pretty long response time.
Right.
Because we think we know where they went down. Whereas, like, if it's a man overboard drill, you don't know when guy fell out. We just know that it got reported. Somebody noticed somebody missing, whatever. They look for as long as they feel is necessary. It's rare that they find a motherfucker, to be honest.
Right.
But, we don't find any bodies. We find debris of the aircraft. The assumption is that they're underwater. The life jackets and support stuff that they wear don't immediately inflate. So if you've been blasted out of the sky, at least as this is to my knowledge, I wasn't a pilot, right? So I don't know for sure. But there's no bodies. There's a crew of 4 gone. So pilot, co-pilot, A-dub, and a spotter, right? Like, so crew of 4 is gone, and that aircraft is just blown to bits.
And when you arrive, the debris field's pretty wide. Helicopter crashes, pretty rough. A lot of shit moving at very high speeds in very different directions. Probably I would assume a small patch is on fire. Jet fuel floats and very flammable.
Actually, not as flammable as you might think. But from a missile strike, with the temperature that hits, I almost guarantee there would be some sort of fire. Something would be lit.
It's a pretty rough sight. But with that, you kind of fade back to the panel, briefing panel you started at. Mm-hmm. You just finished telling them this information in the manner that would make sense in a naval.
Right. Much more formal.
Yeah. The thing that my very civilian ass is not going to adequately recreate. And so at the time, we assessed what rank had you reached when the event happened?
AT1.
The
E6.
end of the world event.
Oh.
What rank would Ulnok qualify as right now?
E8.
E8, which is the word is
Senior Chief.
Senior Chief. And as I remember, you were saying you were trying hard to become a chief.
Yes. I wanted to make Master Chief. That's the E9.
Yep.
I didn't make it before retirement, and I'm kind of burned out.
Fair.
A lot of things went south after this incident. In my head, not necessarily for Navy, but for me,
So one thing that makes this pill possibly harder to swallow for you in a roundabout way down the road when it comes time, because you said in order to reach the rank of chief, you go before a panel of pre-existing chiefs.
Yes. And then it continues from that point on. You go to the board. It's not just your chest and your evaluations.
You obviously you did well on your evals, you did well on your testing, so you made it to the board, right? This incident is actually one of the ones that's brought up in deciding whether you are earning of the rank. And your actions in making sure that the secondary aircraft would not be shot down is what is one of the final deciding points that actually earns you the rank. Instead of letting it be 2 birds going down in the panicked response, having the wherewithal to identify accurately what the fail was and take the steps to prevent it so we didn't lose 2 birds, is actually a deciding factor for you in reaching the rink. Which I can imagine would have a bit of a bittersweet.
Right.
Because you blame yourself for the incident and it's benefiting your career
Right.
at the same time.
And it would have been a particularly odd situation, as an AT1 typically would not go out on the boat as the lead avionics technician. He would usually be like the lead petty officer. So I'd be like, chief is like your manager on shift, right?
Right.
Then your first class petty officer that isn't specifically a lead would be very typically like your assistant, right? Like the assistant manager underneath that. That would be what I would normally go out as under that particular set of orders. However, we were short on qualified ATs to be out as a lead, and I had a very young junior, which is why I was programming the codes and not him.
Gotcha.
Like, I was teaching him, and we were walking through that process. So it took a little longer to get that first set of codes in. And the first thing my junior learns about putting these codes in is if you put them in wrong, somebody fucking dies. It's a pretty hard thing. I feel pretty shitty about the whole thing.
Fair. A vital lesson, but taught in a very brutal
rough,
fashion.
hard knocks way. Yeah.
Yeah. And down the road, the IT tech involved, he receives some pretty heavy, what's the word? Consequences.
Yeah, disciplinary action.
Thank you. Disciplinary actions. Yeah. Some very heavy-handed. He is relieved of his position immediately. He's immediately relieved. Once they are able to determine that you did indeed, there would be, I would assume, some degree of fail-safe to identify that you put in the code you were given.
There'd be a lengthy process. They didn't inspect as much as they could. We would have attempted to have recovered the IFF module from the aircraft debris, whether it was functional or not. That would be something I believe they would try to get.
Fair. And I would assume the birds have a black box just like civilian aircraft does.
I think so. I don't know if it's called a black box, but yeah, there's
something that serves that purpose. And so they take their time with this. This is a serious incident, especially with it being so close to China.
Yeah.
They take their time and they're very thorough. But they do end up. You don't necessarily know what happens to the IT officer, but he's gone. You personally never see him again. And you know that the guy that replaces him, he's a little slower to get information up the chain. You assume I ain't making the mistake that dude did.
Fail safe, yeah.
And you do know that there are some minor, probably don't actually solve the problem kind of changes put in place that make your job honestly more difficult.
That is the military way, yeah.
So with that, we're going to flash back to the party. Mel, you rolled a 21 on your charisma saving throw. You don't feel great. You don't feel horrible. As soon as you cross into the tree line, you feel a change. Jeff is doing fucking terrible. You cross the tree line and Jeff immediately doubles over in pain. You're pretty sure you see something a little ways down the trail.
Okay.
You see them you can't see their face, really. They're more of a shadow. But you know they lock eyes with you. They shake their head in a very disappointed fashion. And they disappear. What are you guys doing?
Hauling ass.
Hauling ass and checking behind us.
I think I might try to catch up with Jeff to try to figure out if there's anything we can do to help him.
So Jeff is behind me. I'm in the front. I can see and I know the horses. So we break off at a quick trot right out the gate. Once I feel the horses are warmed up a minute or two, we kick it up to a full run. And it's a full gallop down the road in the nighttime, which is terrifying if you've never done it under the best of circumstances. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mel might think her concussion's like flaring up again.
But Elliot trusts the horses, and Elliot can see, and he knows that we're going to be okay doing this. So we're just busting full bore and doing this. He can't see behind him. He doesn't know what's going on with Jeff. So he's going to hit a full run as long as he feels it's safe with the horses.
Okay.
And he's going to push the horse, but the horses have been exercising a lot. They've had a couple of days of rest being in the stable. They're well fed. Elliot knows them good. He's going to push them as far as he dares, knowing that these horses are good. They're traveled. And then he's going to go, okay, this is enough now. I'm going to have to break down, get him, get him to breathe, and because he knows the horses will go, but they won't. It can be bad.
Right.
So, and
How,
he's not.
for someone who doesn't do horses, rough estimate. It doesn't have to be any kind of precise. Is that an hour? Is that 30 minutes?
Nah,
Is that
you're
15?
probably looking at about 20, 25 minutes max that you can get before you've got to give them a chance to breathe.
Okay.
Which is, you don't have to come to a stop.
Mm-hmm.
You can just bring them back down to a walk.
We'll say that's ample time to crest. You make it over and you're started down.
Cool.
When you make the decision to pump the brakes a little bit.
And so when I start slowing down, all the other horses are kind of catch up. Everybody else will slow down. And at that kind of a run, you can't really. It's hard to talk. It sounds weird, but you've got enough between the hoofbeat noise and the wind in your ears. You can't really talk.
Oh yeah, horses are loud.
Yeah, they'll.
Especially this is a hard pack.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I'll go as far as I can, like this, call it 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll kick back to a fast walk. And then Elliot's gonna reassess. Okay, how's everybody doing?
God, my ass is killing me.
And at that point, Mel's like, Elliot, you've got to stop. Jeff's going to go down. And of course, Mel doesn't feel real great at this point either. But
Okay.
And you look back, Jeff's holding on.
Yeah.
But that's the best descriptor for what he's not riding this horse. He's clean.
He's hanging on. Yeah, he's bundled up, bunched over, hands around. I know the image. So I'm going to drop back. It's not going to work because I'm out of spell slots. I'm going to attempt again to cast Cure Wounds. I've got nothing. My spell slots are gone. And I'm like, Jeff, how you doing, bud?
You slow down, and he's able to look up. He's got blood coming out of his nose. His eyes are pretty bloodshot. He's looking pretty rough. It looks like some of what had been scars, more of like the cut style, are starting to open.
Oh God.
Mel looks at him and says, "Did you have power
left?
too?"
Yeah.
Oh,
We have a couple of the
I
healing
think he's
potions we stole.
I think so too. Does Mel change any? Is there any change there, or just a general? Ugh.
What do you mean?
Like, does she get any worse, or is it just a general?
It's just a general malaise. Very tired. You feel like, honestly, it wouldn't feel too different from you've had the flu for like a week and this is the first day you're back. You're just that body fatigue. As if you had as if you had a 9-volt that had just got disconnected. Like your power source feels out of balance.
This is more than he escaped. He was like me.
Did you not read the fine print either?
Oh, for fuck's sake, James!
There was no choice.
Emery, you said we think we have one of those.
We do.
potions?
Hang on, I've got them in my pack here.
Okay.
And she'll dig
so
around.
We'll give him
her
one of the
bag
cure
and
wounds portions.
Hand over a
Right.
standard
I
healing
think this is
potion.
magical. Some elves helped us with this. Try drinking this.
You're very kind. Are you sure? These are hard to come by.
We haven't needed them so far.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You've helped us, Jeff. You
He,
drink that.
he drinks it. Try to think. I don't think you guys have seen a healing potion in action yet, have you? He drinks it, and you see immediately some of the scar. Because again, he's still wearing the full robe, so you can really only see at this point his head. His arms are pretty well done. 'Cause it's brisk. You're in the high country, and like it's Cinco de Mayo. It's pretty chilly.
Yeah.
So he's not letting it ride up his arms or nothing, but his head's exposed. Keeping a hood on while you're hauling ass on a horse would be damn near impossible. And immediately you start to see some of his scars stitched back together. The blood stops coming out of his nose. He looks a bit better off. Definitely not cured, but
Sure.
better.
I feel like James probably wouldn't have seen that because he's probably paying more attention to the rear,
That's fair.
double checking, checking surroundings.
So with that, seeing that, it's like, did that help you out, Jeff?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We got to keep moving.
Yes.
We got to keep moving till daylight.
They will not stop looking for the boy.
Yeah, I'm not worried about them at the moment. I'm more worried about the huge ass freaking werewolf that's out here right now.
Fair.
We'll worry about them after day. So he's gonna tell James, you can see in the dark like I can.
Yeah.
We're just following the road. We don't need to push this hard. Keep a decent pace. I'm gonna go to the back. I like to believe that if we're anywhere, we're ahead. And I want to stay in the back and watch our back trail.
Okay.
Once your horse, you can feel them, they're heaving right now, and they're probably got a pretty decent sweat. Once that sweat starts to dry up, don't let the horses get cold. We're going to stay at a walk. Once their breathing gets back down, we'll get back to a trot. Well, then we'll go to our normal travel, trot, rope, walk.
Okay.
Keep it that one. We're going to travel all the way to daylight. We can't stop. So
Ooh, it's
I
gonna be a
think
long night.
it's going to be a long night. I want to watch our back trail. Keep your bow ready up here up front.
Okay.
And
Just keep following the road.
just keep following the road.
All right.
And so then he's going to go around. He's going to get to the back. He's going to check on everybody, check on the horses as we go.
Mel, are you doing okay?
I feel like at listening to Elliot talk about riding all night, Mel actually goes a little green, but no one can tell because it's dark. Like the thought of being jostled on a horse all night long at that level of fatigue is
It would be
God.
so bad.
I actually think to make this mechanically something, I think you have a level of exhaustion.
I bet I do.
Do you need... I can take Jacob if that makes it easier for you.
I think you
look
better.
a little rough.
I might fall off this horse before the night is over.
Yeah.
All right,
Take Jacob.
let's get him moved over.
If
That way I can cast mage armor on him too in the last second if I need to.
But yeah,
Good
I'll
plan.
be in the back. I'm going to be pretty free in case we need to make a running.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I'll tell everybody, if we run into trouble and we get attacked, you guys just keep going. I'm probably the only one in this group that can shoot out of a horse backwards.
Yeah.
I'm probably the only one in this group that can ride a horse backwards and shoot at the same time.
I can't
that's
even
cool. I wanna
stay
try that.
on
No,
the damn
you do
thing.
not. Absolutely not in the middle of the freaking night while we're
Obviously
exhausted.
not right now.
We can work on that later.
A trial by werewolf.
Yeah, you know what?
You
I
can shoot us some fence posts when we get out of here in the
Yeah.
daylight.
Yeah, misspent youth. Anyway, let's keep rolling. I'll be in the back. If we run into something, you guys just keep moving. I'll keep them slowed down here in the back.
Okay.
Awesome. We'll switch back to Ulnok. You have a +4 to perception with advantage.
Oof.
Roll a d20.
Roll badly. Roll badly.
What was that one?
Those were both actually pretty good. But my that's gonna be a 23.
Oh, You should have rolled one from the jail.
So you hear a lot of movement. It's a fair clip away from you,
Yeah.
but it's moving in the same general direction as you.
God damn it. Okay. Yep. I'm picking up where this is going.
So you, again, you're no longer actively rage.
Mhm.
I would almost consider this more of angry, curious. So, I mean, you're a little angry. That's just that.
It's kind of default setting anyway.
Yeah, not
That's the
unfamiliar.
secret cap.
But you start moving in that general direction.
Okay.
Horses travel at 60 foot.
Just so we're clear on that.
Perfect. Elliot, you are searching behind you.
Yes.
Let's have perception, survival. Man, I don't
I'm
know if
gonna be
nature
pretty-
really.
I'm going to be pretty limited. I've only got 60 feet because that's all I can see.
You're in your favorite terrain.
Straight roll.
Sure.
Still not bad. 17.
Perfect. You are fully confident. You see game trails that are crisscrossing this road.
Mhm.
You are fully confident there is nothing within your immediate vicinity.
Okay.
But you are, with that, we'll let that 17 ride for a while.
Okay.
And you're just following the road?
Yep, I'm just following the road.
Perfect. So we're just gonna, for a little while, you guys are riding. It's really pretty out here. It's cold. There's still some snow up here. You're high enough now. There's some snow. And honestly, the full moon glinting off that snow, there's just enough clouds to make the moon look spooky.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's probably got dim light to 20 feet.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
full moon
it's-
on snow, you can see pretty good.
It's stunning out here. The snow is sparkling and glistening.
You know, this would be really pretty if we weren't trying to hide from a rage monster that got turned into a werewolf.
If we were running for our lives, this would be gorgeous.
Did anybody see an aspen? I want to lick it.
We don't have the time to
Time,
stop.
time and a place. Time and a place.
I mean, yes, there are aspens.
Maybe
Actually,
tomorrow.
this high up, there wouldn't be. You'll drop down into aspens.
Oh,
If you're feeling queasy, licking trees is probably not the best course of action.
I can't think of a better one right now.
Not throwing up.
And we'll say you guys are.
How about we
honestly-
don't talk about it? That only makes it worse.
There you go.
You guys are able to follow this trail for a good couple hours, zigzagging your way down the mountain. You know, this is a mountain. This is no hill, so there's some very steep areas. You have to zag north for a good bit because you come across a series of cliffs that would totes kill you. There's a couple of areas where you got to go pretty slow because the road got mostly washed out. You can see a couple of scars from the last couple years worth of fires. So there's a couple of you open up into a couple of blackened fields. Not the right word. There's some grass. Blackened flat bits where
Dead-
the
dead
fire,
clearings?
where the
Clearings,
fire
maybe?
cleared everything. But you hear occasionally the braying of a wolf. It seems to be kind of keeping in your general direction. It doesn't never sound like it's really gaining on you. But you don't seem to be losing it either. Sometimes it's a little further away, sometimes it's a little closer.
Seems like we're keeping pace.
As long as the horses can keep up, we'll be okay.
Mel doesn't get to feeling any better throughout this ride. Definitely, you feel almost a deep bone fatigue, genuine exhaustion. Like, the closest you've maybe come to this was pulling an all-nighter to study
Yeah,
the
with
night
the
after a
caffeine
bender.
crash. Yeah.
When you realize you went out partying on a Saturday and Sunday you have a paper due. Kind of fatigue.
Fucking Glenn.
I'm Like, I made that mistake twice. That was really dumb.
Yeah, don't
mistake.
recommend that.
Right, your brain feels tired. Your body feels tired. You're able to stay on the horse. You're not at any danger of falling off. But you are definitely almost the Walking Dead.
I think because Emery's behind both Mel and Jeff, she's kind of keeping an eye on them.
Perfect.
I'm sorry
That's
you always
okay.
have to babysit Emery.
She falls. I, the player, fall into this role. Emery just happened to be here. We've got two watchful eyes out there. I can't see in the dark. I can see
so
the
you're
20
just
feet to
staring
keep
the
an eye
two
on
in the
you
middle,
guys
just like
and make sure you don't fall off your horses.
Yep. Please tell the front runner if there's a man overboard.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely.
hello.
Sorry. That was
Wait, did you
louder.
guys all hear that?
What was that?
The bad guy is rebooted.
That would be if you had a nice patron, the message tone,
Yeah.
instead of the scream.
That's if you got Bill Gates as your...
Oh, that's a different kind of creepy.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
going to
the
say
god of
it's better.
Microsoft.
No,
Oh.
I don't
It's a
want to
patch for
do an
access to
I don't want to
Microsoft
do an
Suite.
update. I need to cast a spell.
Oh my god, that'd be funny.
Yeah, all of your level ups is just system updates.
System reboot.
iOS updates, basically.
Rebooting now. No, not now. I need to
I'm in the middle
now.
of a fight. What do you mean?
I didn't say
Would you like to
update. I
set
said
Eldritch
fireball.
Blast as your default?
Was a warlock, of course you would.
Yes, yes, I would.
Instead of Internet
No,
Explorer,
it would be
Internet
it would be
Exploder.
like asking if you want to set like an actual spell as your default, which would be useless because it's always asking about Edge, and I don't want to use Edge.
No one
Yeah.
I
wants,
use
No one
Edge to
wants-
no one
download Chrome.
wants to use Edge.
Yeah.
Everyone uses Edge once to download something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
It's just terrible. Oh my god, it's just bad.
Sorry, just a quick momento. Right. I am sending you something to your phone.
It'd be like if it was like, do you want to set the light cantrip as your
Right?
default spell? I'm like, no,
And
absolutely not.
Never.
Ulnok,
Okay.
I want you to make another perception check.
Okay.
Elliot,
Damn it.
you rolled a 17.
Yes.
Everyone else, you rolled, what was it, a 17 perception? Okay. Everyone else roll a quick perception check.
God
Those
damn
of
it,
you
now
without
I'm-
dark vision, roll. You got to roll at disadvantage because you're fatigued. Right?
Yeah, I just did. That's give me a 4.
Cool. That tracks.
Yeah, that totally tracks.
14.
Okay.
17.
That tracks.
16.
Perfect. That was rolling with advantage and your roll stats.
Oh, I didn't roll with advantage.
And that's a +4 to your perception as the wolf.
Oh, fuck. Well, then it's not. That's a 21. Let's see what happens.
With a 16, that'd be 20.
I was using my stats.
Which is a minus, I believe, to your
Yeah.
perception. Yeah.
Oh.
So instead of
gotcha.
subtracting, you
So
got to
it's a
put it back.
17.
Yeah, it's still going to be a 21 because that last one, that other one was a 6.
I apologize. That's a 3.
I don't even think my passive
Doing
counts
great, guys.
at this point.
Try not to
Mel's
murder me here in a minute.
Struggling. You're looking at the back of your horse's neck, and that's about it.
The 3 men at the table. Well, the 2 men at the table currently, not the wolf boy. You hear something fairly large and move out in front of you.
Oh, no.
James, what is that?
Ulnok,
It's either a really pissed off buffalo or I think he found us.
you smell for the first time in a bit some fear.
Theater of the Mind is Jeremy Arfston as Elliot Brandybane, Amanda Arfston as Melanie Kelly, me, Mike Burnell as Ulnok Vaga Johnson, Michael Downs as James O'Brien, Casey Weingarten as Emery Lee, and Mike Schock as your Dungeon Master. We release new episodes every 2 weeks, so our next episode will release on
September 29th.
If you want to follow us, our social media and website can be found on our link tree, which can be found in our podcast description. Also in the podcast description, you can find a link to Pinecast, as well as our referral code to get you 40% off of your first 4 months of a paid membership, as well as our referral link to Epidemic Sounds, which can get you a 1-week trial period to experience their excellent platform. I added words, whatever, here we go. The music this week was sourced from Epidemic Sounds, who we are not sponsored by, under the Creative Commons license. The songs today used in order are
In Obscurity Lies the Gate by Christopher Mo Ditlevson. United We Stand by Bright Arm Orchestra. Creeping by Pharrell Wooten. To Court by Anthony Earls. Final Examination by Jay Vartan. Homestead by Robert Ruth. Isolation by Pharrell Wooten. Personality Interface by Joseph Begg. Are You Scared Yet? By Pharrell Wooten. Sphinx by David Celeste. Did You Try Your Best? By Alex Slane. Pet Cemetery by Mike Franklin. Dark Nature by Polar Nights. Abandoned Village by Lennon Hutton. No Rest for the Weary by Anthony Earls. And Shunt by Prosody. We also used Gravel, Rubber Soul, Walking, Steady, Loop 01, and Countryside Crickets Wind Night 01 from the Sound Effects Library.
The Theater of the Mind theme, intermission, and outro were written by Mike Shaw. Theater of the Mind is a work of fiction. Names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents are used in a fictitious manner, so save the emails. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead or actual events is purely coincidental for the most part. All the time. Please don't sue us.
Flowers.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
wow, it's like
yeah.
Oreo
I
there.
Yeah,
guess
butterflies
Emery's-
are weirdly consistent.
Emery's got like Disney princess energy. I
I
guess.
guess. Well, the funniest
No one
thing
would've
too is
guessed
like
it.
I would have. I would love to see the one where like Emery turns into a potted plant
Yeah.
because the potted plant apparently is mine.
Well, it's also because it's the funniest one that we knew about, so we just made it a running joke.
But
for the
how funny
character.
would it be at this point if Emery turns into a potted plant and we're just
Fucking
looking at her and we're
amazing.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess this is a thing now. Pick her up and let's go. Like,
How long do you
Yeah.
think this one will take to wear off?
Because it's like a minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 That would
That
suck
would
while
take
you're
me
carrying
out
her.
of combat.
I feel like combat would end and be like, well, okay, come on,
Where's
Emery.
Emery?
It would
Do
be
you
scary
remember that
though if
plant
you got
being in the
What's that
hall?
turned into
bonsai
a
tree
plant
doing
and
in the
then got
middle of
hit
this
with
field?
blight. That would be kind of
Oh.
scary.
Oh,
God. I don't even want to think about that.
poor Emery.
It would probably be like a wild shape thing where if I
would-
as a
I would
plant
run
ran
it
out
that
of
way.
hit points, I jumped back to
yeah,
my
I would
normal
think so.
human
Yeah.
self.
Or what happened if you conjured a unicorn? How freaked out would all of us be?
Holy shit.
Oh, you know what? Of
unicorns
course
are
that's
real
a thing
too?
now. You know what? Of course those are things. See, it's not all bad evil magic.
What
There's
about
even
that
most
that
of it.
clockwork thing that you summoned and then was the
Oh yeah, the little monodrome.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
It would have been really funny if we had ended up in the monodrome dimension.
I know. That poor little
Because
guy. He
fucking-
didn't even last a round.